Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I want to show you guys a little something that I learned, I broke it down, and then I mastered. Let me say that, okay? And I've got the pros and cons for this. So I'm sure you've read the title of this video. I recently have been working on a project that consists of a lot of yarn ends. And I found a thing online that showed how to do this yarn join with no ends to weave in. Well, every video that I have found on YouTube just showed a video of a woman, you know, just kind of wrapping it and then doing it and, you know, just like that. And then you pull it and ta-da, there's your join, no ends to weave in, right? And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I need an explanation of how that's done, how it works. And, you know, I want to know a better, I need a better explanation than just that, because one time I could do it, the next time I couldn't do it for 4 or 5 more times because I didn't know what I was doing, right? So what I did was I learned it, broke it down, and then mastered it, okay? So now I'm going to show you guys how to do it, and then I'm going to give you, you know, kind of pros and cons of this method, I'll say that, okay? So first, I have 2 different colors so you guys can see exactly what we're doing. So what you want to do is get your 2 ends together and pull them up a little bit. Now you don't have to, well, let me just say this. As you're learning, you want to have a little bit longer tail ends so you can see what you're doing. But the more and more you do it, the more and more you get used to it, so you don't necessarily have to have them that long. And I will say I've made an entire Afghan, an entire tapestry Afghan using this join, and I still prefer to have the longer ends than the shorter ends. But anyway, all right, so get your 2 strands, hold them same length, give yourself a little bit of length. Let's go there. All right, so you're going to take the yarn, and I want you to wrap it around your thumb once, and then just kind of slide that down a bit. And then in between your fingers back here, just slide that loop down a bit. Come back around for twice. And now underneath my pointer finger where I'm holding this, I don't want that to cross, right? You want it to look just like that. Go back to holding that. And now I'm going to bring the loop around these 2 tails right here. And I'm just kind of pinching it in my fingers between my pointer finger and my thumb, and then bring it to the back. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take these tails and bring them through these loops. So the best way to do that is to go thumb to thumb, and then I just slide them through there. Just like that. And now hold those 2 tails along your working yarn. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to pull this tail, and it's going to close these 2 loops. But the trick is to not let the top loop get past the fold of our tails right there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of hold my fingertip right there so they don't come past. See how they want to come down a little bit? They don't come past that fold. And then once you get to a certain point, you can just pull it and it closes. Now, you can see that purple, you got two strands, 2 lines right there. If you want, I actually don't like, I don't do this because what it does is create a fatter knot instead of a long, thinner knot. But if you are not happy with that, take your tails and pull them like that, and it'll put those 2 little purple tails together. So you have a shorter but chunkier knot, whereas before you had a longer but skinnier knot. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. But what you do now is you take a pair of scissors, and I just have a little, I think I got these out of a nail trimming kit. And you just take this, and you can get that as close to that knot as you want. It's hard to do on a camera. There you go. So my number one first pro for this join is your yarn waste. You do not have near the amount of yarn waste as when you do it the other way. And then there is your join. So you can just work over that with no problem. And I'm going to pull on this as tight as I can, so my yarn is probably going to snap, but I want to show you guys how good this join is. Ugh. See? The join didn't break. The yarn did. So, I mean, that is not going anywhere. Now, I want to show you guys how I usually join 2 strands of yarn. Okay? So what I usually do is I pull up 2 long strands, long enough to weave in. And then I cross them, bring the one on the right under, and then flip that one down, this one over. Now bring your new one on the left under, pull tight. There you go. Now I have just the tiniest little knot right there, and then I have all these ends to weave in. And then once I get those ends weaved in, get untangled there. There we go. Once I get my ends weaved in and I cut my yarn, I would be wasting, let me see. I would estimate that much probably gets weaved in. I'd be wasting that much yarn, which I realize isn't a huge difference, but it's amazing to me. This join is also just as strong as that other one. I'm not going to pull this real tight. But I so much more. I would so much prefer the other way better. So I'm going to show you again. Take the 2 strands, pinch it between your thumb and your pointer finger. Take the strand on the right hand side, on the outside, how about I say that, on the outside, wrap it once. Bring it down between your finger and your thumb. Hold on to that loop. Bring it down if you need to. Wrap it again. And remember, you don't want them to cross back here. Then come between your thumb and the strands. And hold that. Bring the rest of that to the back. Take your 2 tails. Go thumb tip to thumb tip. And then slide those right in there. Hold your tails to your working yarn. Bring your loops down just a bit, and then just use your fingertip to keep those loops from coming over the fold of your tails. And then you can just pull it tight. That one actually went really close together. That was very pretty. See how thin and long it is? Then you just separate that. Get your tails as close to the knot as you can. And there you go. So when I saw this online, the video I saw, and this isn't the magic join or the magic knot or whatever it's called. But anyway, the video that I saw just showed a woman just wrapping it around, going around the tails and pulling it tight, and boom, there you go. There's your knot. And that's the end of the video. And it's like, I could do it once or twice, and then I try to do it again, and I'm like, why is this not working? What is happening? So I just sat down and I tried it one way. Okay, that's not the trick. What's the trick? What am I missing here? And the part that I figured out every time that I kept messing up to where it wasn't working was when I would, I'm just going to do it real quick right here. Don't let those go over each other. When I was to this point, I was letting my loops go past the fold of my tails, and that's why it would not work every time. This is probably not going to work because my tails were super short. There it went. But yeah, that's why I needed to have a whoa, whoa, whoa moment, you know, break that down for me, because that's not working for me. I need to know how this is done, why it's done, how it's working. But anyway, I just wanted to take a couple minutes for you guys to show you how to do the super easy join. I will say one of the cons that I have found to working that knot is it's not easy to work past. Sometimes you can see the knot in your work, and if that's okay with you, like it's okay with me, then I would not worry about it. If you don't like that, then I would suggest doing it another way. But I loved this. I'm glad I found it, and I hope you do too. So thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.